Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to day number 2, week number 7, and last week and final week for the SPL. And we're going to be going into the European matches today. My name is Driver. I'm joined today by DM Brandon, and we're getting ready to go.
That's right. Starting off the day today, we're going to have Team SoloMid trying to fight their way back up the ranks. They've been having a awkward roller coaster of an SPL so far, and they're still kind of fighting. They should be pretty clear to go into LAN at this point, as Cloud9 is really the only team in contention to fall out.
Well, I think the thing that we're really seeing about the SPL, right, is that, teams are really understanding what it means to be together for a long period of time, right?
Yes.
Because you have, Zimstar now kind of coming in here for the Hunter role, Smek's out, Trixtank on the fence. They're wondering if they have to bring in, a different player. They have Shadow Q on the back lines, on the back burner, helping them understand the game, and maybe just looking at things from a critical eye, from the top down, from bird's eye, and really understanding how their team could fit together. But into the picking stage we go. First ban going to Team SoloMid. They're going to have Geb and Jung Quay removed, and then Freya to follow up from Exposed Secrets.
That's right. Freya getting taken away from Kivo is a very smart idea. And Mercury getting hit as well, leaving Serket on the board. Now remember, we are on live patch. This is not a good idea to leave Serket on the table. Looks like Thor's going to be picked up regardless, despite the fact that Serket is almost widely considered to be the best character in the game. But Thor gets locked in. Rama gets locked in as the response. Exposed Secrets still with one pick.
Well, they're thinking about it, right? Because Geb's gone, Athena's on the table. Now, if they give it away to the other side, is it a big deal? And some teams, they have such a wide breadth for support, they don't really care what goes. Once Geb's gone, Bacchus, Amir, Kumba, Athena, it's all in kind of the same bucket there for them. They're hovering on Athena, and they're actually going to lock it in. Of course, not really willing to give it away. Half Devil plays a fantastic Athena, so a good choice there for Exposed Secrets.
Team SoloMid's option once again. 2 more picks in the first picking phase. Bacchus will be hovered on rather early, as well as Ra, a character that I'm surprised made it this far through.
Yeah, they don't want the support to get banned there, so they're going to lock it in. Ra, surprisingly enough, Serket still available for Exposed Secrets if they want to go down that road. Now, Frostiak is kind of... he's a different flavor of jungler. He likes his Amirs. He likes going to the jungle with maybe some Bastets mixed in there. So, Serket, is it on his table?
He's been away from Ymir for a while, ever since he got kind of stomped on about a week ago. And then with Thor picked up, he doesn't really have a character that we've seen do too well. And if so, it's been sparingly. So he has a few options open here. Again, Serket's still available, but I don't know if that's going to fit into Frostiak's god pool. Frostiak, in my opinion, has one of the smallest competitive god pools, and I don't know what... Oh, I don't like Thanatos.
I'm really surprised to see this shift away from Hunbots.
Yeah, I don't...
It seems like no one's playing him,
Hunbots
not
and
picking
Scylla,
up.
like,
He's just so good.
Just please. Like, they're actually overpowered.
They are. Very good.
Like,
and it's like you're looking at an assassin jungler that has a big AoE team fight.
I look at Lassus to that, and Lassus every time he picks Hunbots does well, and then like last time we saw him pick Mercury, didn't do very well. Like you have to veer away from the meta sometimes, stay away from the top picks, and play what you're good at.
Look at the stats. If you win a lot with a character, play that character, and you stop winning.
Like Frostiak played Ymir until his hot streak was stopped, and he's like, okay, I'll play Thor. Like, all right.
Why? Why don't I just go up the tier chart to a different god there and make it work? They're going to lock in Loki here. The bans will be Apollo from the side of Exposed Secrets, since they already have Rom locked in. Across the way, we're going to take Vamana off the table away from Zalia. Don't want him to grab that late game hyper carry, especially with Freya gone and Vamana gone. Zalia's got to make some different choices here as they hop over to TSM. They're hovering on Uhl.
All right, I like this. A lot of damage potential he has. Multiple different kind of like attack boosts and steroids between the speed and the lifesteal and the extra damage. Very smart.
Habwa's locked in here. On her gets locked in for TSM as well. Keep in mind, this is going to be Zimstar, not Smek. So this is Zimstar's On Her that's being locked in. Although, after Moex yesterday with On Her, oh man, the damage he's able to deal. And I like her.
She's ridiculous.
It's one of my favorites.
She has a cripple into literal death combo, which could re-proc into another death.
Well, here's the thing, DM. If you... Here, I'm gonna give you a little coupon deal. Okay. If you happen to kill someone, I'll give you a free ultimate.
Yeah, right?
If you do it again, I guess I'll keep the promotion going. I'll give you another free coupon for an ultimate.
She's nuts. And, like, you couple that with someone like Loki who can spot stun somebody, or Thanatos who can spot stun somebody, and then Athena
who can pull five people into a center.
Or reduce the damage you take as you try to escape from the entire team who should be trying to shut her down. She is polarizing and centralizing in team fights, and if you don't lock her down, she will kill you.
Well, she also has that kind of old Kukulkan, Ao Guang sense, which is traffic control, right? She can throw it on the crush and leave it there.
And you just look and you're like...
You're like,
this
I
is the
want to
longest
cross
5
it.
seconds of my life.
I want to cross it, but I can't.
Know what to do.
Oh, the fire giant's dead. Okay, great. Great. Yeah, I mean, no doubt she's great. Shen Nightmare going to be taking the reins here for Scylla and see how well he performs with her going forward. As far as the full lineup here, you can see a lot of damage on both sides, a lot of control on the side of TSM, more targeted assassination for Exposed Secrets. I mean, you got Thanatos from above, Loki from behind, Scylla from the front, just kind of like getting that kind of convergence. But as far as like overall teamfight control, there's a lot of holes in the armor and front line there for Exposed Secrets.
That's right, and holes that Team SoloMid can take advantage. I mean, Trix Tank being able to mobilize himself very quickly and then just scatter them out with Intoxicate, Lobster having healing to ensure that his team can stay at the front line repeatedly, while if you ignore Game Hunter or Zimstar even a little bit, you're going to pay for it. And then Cubo Fred, not only has that interrupt with Anvil of Dawn or the Initiate, he also has an interrupt with Tectonic Rift, on top of the fact that he is, in my opinion, chemistry-wise, the strongest jungler.
He plays so well. And he's very consistent. I mean, we see these junglers that go up and down and up, and Cubo just, occasionally he'll have a blip, maybe a little lower, but always very reliable.
Right. He's consistent.
We're looking at Game Hunter and Habwa as well, and that's a lot of damage, right? And you can see that the damage is more centralized on 1 or 2 people there for TSM, which means that if they get an opportunity, it's going to be a lot of burst, but they're not waiting for I feel like there's going to be a lot of waiting for perfect opportunities in the way of Exposed Secrets. You're like, can Thanatos get an execute? Can Scylla get an ultimate? Can we get a good ultimate there from Loki? Whereas TSM can be the drivers of this match.
Well, Exposed Secrets will be starting on the Chaos side today, going up against TSM. Now, remember, Exposed Secrets on top right now.
Oh, yeah.
They are very close to unstoppable, and they're going to be going through TSM
look at
today.
This grouping from TSM right below the mid camp. Will Frosty see it? Half Devil may have seen it there.
I think Frosty X, I think they're just chilling at the mid camps, dude. I think we should just leave.
Well, look, they're backing off. No gain there just yet. We do have one ward placed down on the backside. It's going to be that Temple of Confucius for the Odyssey. Shout out to the Odyssey.
If Funball walks through this, he is so dead. This is so
It seems like he's just AFK.
This is so tense.
They're so patient.
Oh my god. No, Trix Tank.
Trix, impatient, no pull. Well, they can juggle him for a while.
Jeez.
Well, sending a message. There's a crushing response doing about 90 damage there.
Yeah.
Down just a bit.
And, Funball will take some damage there. That'll hurt. I mean, realistically, if I was Trix and Zimstar here, I would not let them take the mid camps for free. Yeah, Athena is rotating back. She's going to be going to the blue buff. And it looks like Trix Tank is going to go that route. He realizes that Funball cannot sustain in a team fight. And then here comes the belly flop Hand of the Gods.
Belly flop, Hand of the Gods done. Locking it in. Crush will pop, but doing very minor damage. We see Zimstar clearing out that blue buff in the back. The blue buff on the top side will be taken down thanks to Half Devil's commitment to that. No invasion on the right side of the map. We do sometimes see this, but it looks like there's going to be no pressure coming out just yet. They do have the decoy from Zelia to prevent them from taking too much damage, as the blue buff on either side for the Soul Lane will be taken out. Into the lane they go. Now, this is also kind of tense as far as the lineup for the solo lane. I mean, there's a lot of control and range from Game Hunter and Cubo, but there's a lot of single target damage from Zelia and Frostiak.
Well, yeah, right now, nobody on TSM should be overextending even a little bit. Thanatos will kill you at this stage of the game.
Oh, it's scary.
But he's what I like to call a paper towel. When you're first using the paper towel, the thing is strong, it's sturdy, whatever mess you're cleaning up is going well. Wait a few minutes and that thing is just shredded. There's paper everywhere and it becomes absolutely useless.
It's a good analogy.
Thanks, Driver.
You're welcome. I mean, I'm just picturing it in my mind, and it totally fits. The thing about Thanatos, right, is that it really comes down to how accurate you can be, because he doesn't really have a whole lot of, let me redo this. I mean, he has the opportunity to go in with the Death Scythe. He's got a lot of damage coming out from the Soul Rape and gets on top. But as far as we've seen, if you miss that Death Scythe more than once, there's never going to be a return for you. You're just locked in.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, actually, he's going to slam 2 huge hits into Cubo Fred, who takes about half his health, just in respect to how much Thanatos can do. Frostiak will get hit by another rather damaging character, but thanks to his passive, will take basically no damage.
Half Devil's leaving, and the left side here looking to probably steal a movement speed buff, or maybe the back Harpies.
Yeah,
we don't see Chaos stealing Harpies that much from the left side of the map, but it looks like Half Devil's going to go for him. There's the shield wall, there's the hog, and for free it goes.
I don't know if I like the shield wall there. He didn't need it. 2 auto attacks at 1 minute and 50 seconds. 2 auto attacks from any character in the game. maybe 3, plus Hand of the Gods will clean that up. He wouldn't have lost anything. In fact, just using that bit of mana is going to force him into an awkward spot. You can see now he's almost has about 1 combo remaining, and if they're going to look to invade on these camps without him going back, he's not going to have enough to use his ultimate.
Well, looking for the taunt, they're not going to find it. Both Trix and Zimp jumped out of the fight. Right side, we see Game Hunter regaining his composure and pushing this lane all the way up to the tower. The damage level will be taken down on the left side. So, as far as that goes, I mean, this is actually quite fast. It's not too often do we see both junglers clearing their secondary buff before the mid camps respawn.
That's true. Usually it goes either at the same time, where they're about 10 seconds
Left side
apart.
damage on Funball, pushing him back. Great wall there from Cubo going for the damage. He has no jump at this point. They need the control to force him away. Into the jungle goes Thanatos.
Eyes up Frostiak.
Oh,
they do
it's
get the
coming
first
down.
blood, but here comes Thanatos. He'll get a big hit, but he realizes he doesn't have the control. In fact, taking so much damage, Zimstar should have taken advantage of that, and he didn't. Misplay.
Not level 5 yet. Looking at Zimstar, let's see what level he is currently. Oh, he's just below 5. Doesn't figure to come online right now. There it is, level 5, but a little bit too late.
I think he could have fought it either way. He should have been able to kill that. He was threatened by the Thanatos, didn't recognize the situation, didn't see how low Thanatos was or the position Thanatos had brought himself into, given the fact that he was tanking all of those creeps. Zimstar's presence of mind a little bit weakened. He is newer to the role in competitive play. Generally was a sub, now is kind of a permanent fixture. I think in 2 or 3 weeks, if this were to happen again, he would have picked up that kill for free.
Look at the separation in XP per minute in the mid lane here, DM. You can see that Raw, played by Lobster, are going to be running 750 XP per minute. 150 less than that is going to be Shadow Nightmare. So Lobster not forced back as much, got that heal control. Now, we do know that Scylla has a pretty weak early laning phase, gets pushed out of the lane a lot, but that much experience separation. It's going on, it's about 130 now. Pretty strong separation there.
He's also going for unnecessary risks, like the rotation over. Scylla going to use bees there, Sentinel out, but not into a good position. More than likely will drop here, and the Athena ult will be wasted.
Look, coming in. There goes Frostiak. Silence on both. Half doubles here. Looking for the taunt. Is going to find it. Missing the taunt. Looking for damage on Cubo. Not going to find that either as Frostiak disengages.
Death Sight's coming up.
Barrage. Do they have it? One hit from the hammer should do it. There goes the swing. Cubo with a double kill is on a killing spree, and very haphazardly.
We talk about Thanatos and how he's good early game, and I get this question a lot in the chat. And it's like, what happens if Thanatos doesn't have an early game? Well, then he's completely useless.
He doesn't do anything.
No, because now he's level 5. You look across the way, Cuvo's level 7, and they're both characters that are stronger in early game, get weaker as the game go on. But Thor falls off a little less hard than we see Thanatos. I mean, Thanatos straight up drives off a cliff, whereas Thor just becomes a little less effective.
Well, the thing about Thanatos, right, is that you basically have to be black or white. There's no gray with Thanatos. Either you're all the way in or you're all the way out. You don't want to hover for a team fight and look for the damage. He is kind of purple for his visual representation, but his soul, his gameplay style is more black and white. And you saw that there, right? I mean, you have to be very twitchy, right, with the Twitter finger. If you're in trouble, ult. And he had the ultimate available, and he waited too long, and if he went for the animation, the ultimate, he would have died. And so he knew he had to run, but if he ulted sooner, he would have gotten out. So you have to be very much, I'm going for the kill, or I'm going for the farm.
You could actually see that kind of twitchiness even come out, but it was too late. Thor hits him with an auto attack. He has 1 hit remaining, and you can see him kind of juke the camera. His character avatars turn a little bit to the left there, and then realize, crap, I don't have enough health to cast this Death Scythe, because he does use HP as a resource for his abilities as well.
Yeah, it brings him down lower. And of course, he can't go lower than 1 HP with the abilities. A lot of times you will see Thanatos up in the air with a very small amount of HP. That's due to his ultimate. Right side, Cubo Fred looking for the block, going to find Azalea in stealth mode. Going to the jungle, Decoy going to place down on the ground. Frostiak here, but he's very weary of what's going to happen if Cubo Fred gets in his face again. He's experienced that once and does not want to feel it again.
Cubo's looking for it. Will he find the stun? Lobster's here as well. Oh, they're not going to get it.
Left side, the Hunters are boxing. Zimstar actually getting the better end of Funballer here on the Onher. Onher has proven to be a very difficult character to box, getting much more popular than we've seen in the start of the Pro League, but definitely kind of bring the numbers.
He's been doing very, very well. Very, very well. Onher has been a character as well. It's just, he wasn't considered super strong, and ever since we got into the SPL, the early game rush and the extra damage that he brings with the penetration is big. And speaking of big, Thor's coming in hot, raining down on the right side. Frostiak, CC chain, goodbye.
Very damage on a half double, going to dash away. There goes the wall. They're still going for it. Half double dropping low. Rotation coming out, but not going to be in time. You know what's surprising right now? On the right side of the map, Zaylee has not done a single point of player damage.
I'm sorry?
He has not done a single point of player damage.
That can't be right.
He has not hit a single person. And so that, I mean, he's just using decoys and sitting back, but I think it's just the fact that Game Hunter has this safety bubble around him where if you get too close, it hurts you. And so he's just sitting back looking for the farm.
And you know what? As Loki, that's smart. But then again, you're also letting Hobwall get free farm as well, which can be very, very dangerous.
Oh, it hurts.
It's a character that cannot be allowed to, he must be contained, and he's not being contained. And speaking of not being contained right now, 429 gold per minute. Far and away ahead is Cuvo Fred, who has been an unstoppable force for his team so far. Level 9, second highest level in the game, tied, of course, with a few other players. Top honors there goes to Ra.
Well, we're seeing a 2,000 gold lead already for TSM, and they're looking a lot healthier. Taunt interrupt the stun there from Trixtank with rotation coming out from the jungle with Frostyak, and we do see Lobster on his way over as well, but they're going to kind of just feel it out and go back to their lane. We do see that into the Hunter role that we're going to see on her picking up a lot more stacks. Zimstar is actually getting 30 stacks up. Now, catching up to him is Funballer, but it seems like the pressure on the left side is becoming too strong here. Now, of course, Zimstar has been rotating where we haven't seen Funball been part of fights as much, and that's hurting, but it definitely means that, you know, TSM is really leaning on the objective gold gains that they're getting. You can see that the top 4 from the gold gain, gold per minute, is going to be all TSM. We've got Cuvo, Lobster, Game Hunter, and Zimstar all hitting the top charts. And that's the scary part, right? Is you've got Ra, who, if he gets ahead, becomes a super mage with utility.
Well, same thing for experience per minute. Ra is clearly on top at almost 700, far and away higher even than Game Hunter in second place at about 600. And then you have Loki and then 2 more members of TSM. In fact, the only person on TSM who's not in the top there is actually Trixtank. But it looks like Scylla's starting to catch up a little bit. Funball's keeping length as well. Dashing away. Oh, Trixtank with a curious miss there. Could be in trouble, but a beautiful taunt will keep it negated.
Rotation from Shadow Nightmare and Frostyak. They're in the area. Nice stun from Cuvo. Huge hammer from Cuvo. Crush over the wall will do damage to Lobster, but he's going to heal it right back up here. And back into the solo lane, we haven't seen any damage at all from Zalia just yet. And I think it's great. Game Hunter, what he's doing here is he's just looking to zone out the space and make sure he stays away from the wave. And that's what's working out so well for him. He's placed 4 wards so far in the solo lane. 5.
You know, what this seems to me is Exposed Secrets is not practicing. Oh, but we'll talk about that in a minute, as it looks like Thanatos will go up into the air. It looks like the ultimate will be used onto Cuvo Fred. They're spending a lot of time fighting Thor.
Zimstar, there goes the damage. Ezra for your one shot will do it. Blinking away with the ultimate. Thor dog gonna come out. Cubo needs a little more, but gets rooted inside the ultimate. And there goes the damage. He's got one more to shoot out, but he needs to be careful because the short range damage from Lobster may be enough to take him down. He disengages. It's going to be overall a 1-for-1 exchange, but it will be also exchanging the Gold Fury to TSM.
I'm not sure 100% as we do not have those dots left, but Half Devil's trying to make a play. It's possible he has hand 3. Unfortunately, not going to find a way through it, as a beautiful combo coming out from Game Hunter and nice blocking coming out from Lobster will ensure they pick up the Gold Fury and a kill.
Bacchus is the 3rd highest in player damage right now. He is shredding, and that's what he does
Can't
best.
sleep.
Belch of the Gods is an incredible ability in the way that it also forces people to use cooldowns. It has a great amount of damage dealt over the duration of the channel, and also has a great stun at the end. He's also got Intoxicate, huge burst damage, so he's tied with Hobble right now for damage, but the star is going to be Cubo Fred in the jungle with Thor, 4,200 player damage in 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it was almost a little bit more. He didn't quite juggle his cooldowns correctly. Shadow Nightmare found a pretty cute Sikkim in the mid lane to shut down his movement, and then just blew him up. Very smart.
That cripple root is so strong. It's a lot of counter, especially if the hammer's already in the air and you get crippled. You can't teleport to it, and you're just stuck out of options. You'll have to use the ultimate. Of course, he used it to get into the fight. Looking at the graphs right now, you can see it's a 5,300 experience lead for TSM, 3,500 gold as well. And in 10 minutes, that is a huge detriment to Exposed Secrets. Now, they're not down for the count. They have a great option here, especially since they have a lot of late game damage. They've got Loki, they've got Rom, they've got the Scylla, but again, they do kind of have that Thanatos in the pocket where he's hitting that point where he's not doing anything.
You know, I think what I would like to see from Exposed Secrets in their off time, I mean, they're basically locked in at this point. They're not going to be going anywhere. Right. They'll make it to the LAN. They need to be scrimming more teams, plain and simple. I don't know how much they're scrimming, but I want to see them going up against Agilitas and the Potato Boys. They need to be scrimming just often. Because right now it seems to me what's going to happen is they're going to do the normal pro team thing that's been happening over the past couple weeks, and that's they're going to look for roster changes. And it's not what they need. They need Frostiak to become more confident in a different god pool. He can't just rely on Ymir and Thor every day. They know how to counter the Ymir now. The gimmick has been shut down. Thor is getting picked up or banned too often for him to rely, and then he backpedals directly into Thanatos, a character who is not going to be able to carry this game for them. He needs to have more control over the map, especially early game. Whereas before with Ymir, I mean, it looks to me that he's always looking for these gods that play well early and maybe trying to get his team a little bit bigger. It's not always going to work, and he has to have a backup plan.
Thanatos looking for some damage. He's up in the air, actually, not actually at the initiation. He thought he had it, but he saw the rotation coming from the mid lane and was not worth his time. But that ultimate will now be on cooldown. But you're exactly right. I mean, notable players, Lassus, we've seen Kiki, we've seen a lot of players like Lobster really have a strong god pool. And, it's like, it's hard to ban against them because no matter what you ban, they're going to have something in the pocket that makes as much of an influence or maybe even more. And so when you have that, you don't really open yourself up to weakness in the picking stage. And Exposed Secrets definitely need it. 12 and a half minutes in the match. The first tower will fall. It will be the mid lane tower for Exposed Secrets. 6-1. And with that completion of the tower, we're crossing the 4,000 gold lead mark for Team SoloMid.
You talk about big god pools, and I think despite the fact that the team has done, I think the least efficiently in the SPL Thirst, Jaco Malfoy's god pool is absolutely crazy. You could literally put any mage in this guy's hand, and he will perform. In fact, you could put hunters in his hand, and he will perform. He has no weaknesses in his god pool. And it's that kind of play that's going to help Thirst as they go into the wildcard matchup. Same thing for Game Hunter. You could put any god into this guy's god pool, or rather in his hands, and he would dominate.
Cripple onto Zimstar on the left side. Some Astral Strikes coming through. Going to be forced out. Cubo on the right side. Looking for damage on Frostek. There goes the hub on knockup.
That should have been a kill. Cubo missed Tectonic Rift off the wake up. He missed Mjolnir's attunement front and back. Got some damage off Berserker Barrage, and then you saw Game Hunter rotate in. But Frostiak unknowingly, accidentally even, dodges about 700 damage.
Well, the penetration works so great for Thor. He's got his Warrior's Will, keeps his damage up pretty high. Stun onto Shadow Knight, we're going to force him to teleport. Nice hammer there. Going to get the Sikkim, looking for the Sentinel. Going to find a Crush as well and use the last little bit of the Sikkim to really get some damage off on the return. Cubo Fred dropping about a half HP there. But, Exposed Secrets is feeling the fear. You can see in their playstyle, the way they're moving, the way they're acting, is that they're kind of leashed to their towers and to their teammates. They're not really comfortable moving forward and trying to take ground on TSM because they kind of put them into a pocket. You're looking at the gold numbers, you're going to see 4,500 gold, and that's really the story of this game so far.
I was just looking at Frostiak again on the minimap. For those of you who were watching it, we didn't have the camera on him, but you can see on the minimap he started to flounder, waffling, going literally back and forth 4 times at the speed buff. Do I wait? Do I go? Should I go to mid lane? Is Athena holding it? Do I go to right and try to get Game Hunter? He just wasted like 15 seconds of farm when he's already behind by a level on top of, 1,000 gold? I mean, you don't, or now 2 levels and 1,300 gold. You don't have time for that kind of thing.
I think it comes down to mental state. I mean, the movement speed buff wasn't up. The blue buff was just spawning. The back harpies were up, and he's thinking, can I go for the harpies? Is my teammate going to get ganked? Right side, Game Hunter doing some damage, forcing the ultimate out from Zalia. Game Hunter is in control of this lane, and Zalia barely making it home. In the meantime, the Gold Fury is being zoned out here. Nice counter ward from Zimstar and Trixtank with a positioning that it is coming out here. They might just start it. Indeed, they will. Remember that with that passive from Honor and the Obelisk up, he's going to do a ton of single target damage. 200 damage per shot there. That is insane. Trixtank for the zone. Cubo Fred for the assist.
Yeah, Cubo's going to go in there. Zimstar's going to continue burning this down, or at least trying to. Lobster's rotation is going to be huge here because the heal will keep him topped off. Half Devil trying to come in now. Oh, takes a huge shot to the back, and it will be finished off by Cubo Fred as they take the Gold Fury. Watch Thor coming in hot, slamming down on Azalea, forcing out a rotation once again. Beads have been used. Thanatos in does find a kill, and here comes Shadow Nightmare.
Shadow Nightmare with the damage. Trixtank in trouble here. Belly flops on no one. No escape. Now nice Sikkim from behind. Maximum range. And now it's just Lobster all alone. Can he get the kills he wants? This is pretty greedy, but Game Hunter's in the way. There goes the knockup. He does have an ultimate available, but will not get the chance to use it as everyone is disengaging here. And they're going to be moving away from this, but wow. See, that's the patience you need. And here's the thing, is even though you're behind, you can't lose confidence because situations will arise that you can capitalize on regardless of the difference in golden experience, and that's what Exposed Secrets did there.
I got to give also the golf clap. Just
the Sikkim?
To the Sikkim. That was the long-range Tiger Woods putt.
Is that what it was?
Hit him with the Tiger Woods.
Oh, man.
Just give him the golf clap. Just Golf clap boys in the chat.
Bring it up.
Very important.
Bring it up.
That was beautiful. He just won the Masters.
And it's not an easy skill to hit. I mean, it does have a pretty significant travel time. It's not instant. I mean, it
It's
does have
slow.
a pretty projectile.
Slow as hell.
You also have to worry about, whether or not they're going to move. The width of the ability is not as wide as, say, like a Naja Sash. That's a lot wider there. So, it is an ability you really have to think about when you use it. Checking out the itemization right now, you can see that Lobster's going to be going towards, I would imagine, a book here after the Chronos Pendant got the CDR. Has already sold off his Vampiric Shroud. Across the way, we're going to see the CDR Thanatos here with the Jotuns, but it does have the penetration boost, which I like. I like the penetration Thanatos a lot more than the full CDR Ninja Tubby. At this point, Funballer is going to be going and finishing off his Executioner. As far as actives go, he's just got the beads.
I like that. I mean, I'm okay with that. Beads is very, very strong. It's one of my favorite items in the game. Absolutely.
So
it's amazing because you always, when you have them, you force yourself into a situation like, do I use this for cooldown? Do I use them to cleanse? Do I use them to bait CC? Like, what? There's a lot of uses that you can
tall enough
use it
Zimstar.
for.
Forcing the beads out, he will jump away. We see the mid lane Cubo looking for some aggression onto Shadow Nightmare. And speaking of beads, I love the choice that Game Hunter has made here. He has elected to replace his beads with the Greater Aegis, which means he can avoid as soon as Loki ults for the stun, you can use the Aegis in CC, avoid the follow-up damage. Same thing goes for Thanatos.
Oh, speaking of Xaylia, taking a lot of damage. No double tap coming through. Burp will, and then here comes Athena. But you see the rotation from Ra and from Shadow Nightmare, but it doesn't look like Cubo is in a good line to try to fight this one. Still a 4v4 grouping on the side of the map. Very strange at this minute.
Still has an ultimate. We have all 5 ultimates on the left side. TSM still has everything going for him. Half Devil, of course, doesn't have his Defender of Olympus available. Just used it to initiate Xaylia with the hammer receive. I don't think you're supposed to catch that.
Well, he didn't catch that so much as he's definitely still holding that, as he's going to be forced to back off. Half Devil low health as well. Shadow Nightmare going to try to deter, but the first tower will get destroyed. Or rather, the second tower. 2 towers now have fallen. TSM really aiming at objectives here, and it's working out as they're 6,500 experience and 6,000 gold in the lead.
Look at that gold in hand, though. $2 grand in hand for Game Hunter. He can go home and spend it on whatever he wants. He has a Breastplate of Valor, of course, which is great. I mean, you got Loki, you've got Rom, and you've got Thanatos. And more specifically, you're up against a physical soul laner and a physical jungler. Damage on Half Devil, and he is gone. Kyo Fred's going to find that one, but the Searing Pain from Lobster was the one that sealed the deal.
Right there, that was the World of Warcraft practice.
Is that what it is?
That was the World of Warcraft RMP CC chain.
That's right.
Right there. It was, you got the knock-up, then the stun coming out directly from Tectonic Rift.
Hammer.
Right as the burp's coming out, the hammer and Searing Pain are hitting at the same time. Everything happened at once, and that's how the game is played. Beautiful pickup onto the tank is going to allow them to rotate to more objectives. Though the Gold Fury is down, this gives them opportunity to more, I think, get their free farm back up. And with Zimstar hitting level 17 right now and keeping ground, of course, with Funball, it's going to be hard for Exposed Seekers to bring themselves back into this one.
Well, the great thing for TSM is they have the mid tower and the short lane tower down. So it opens up the map so wide. They have this huge meadow to just walk through and do with whatever they want. Look at the maps right now. You can see that there is going to be 2 wards on the right side. There's going to be a counter ward now near the solo as they come around the left side tier 1 tower from TSM. We're going to see Exposed Secrets kind of rotate over there slowly. Passing the tier 2 tower now is going to be Shadow Nightmare as well as Frostiak. Tower will fall. All 3 tier 1s are down. On his way over is Xaylia, looking for maybe initiation onto Lobster, but not a great target for him. Over the wall goes Trixtank, avoiding that dead side. Loki going in.
Beautiful spacing and I think spy checking right there from Trixtank. Using that burp just like the Pyro would use fire. We're going to see an invasion here. No, they're going to switch on to Half Devil. Watch Frostiak. He's going to hit 3. Can they follow up? 3-man silence. Crush completely. Miss Shadow Nightmare not in a great spot.
Also pops the Jam. There's a Desert Fury coming through here. He actually cancels it early. Unfortunately, Zimstar. No one's available. Damage on top. Shadow Nightmare goes down there. Funballer backing away from the fight, but it's not over yet. Game Hunter wants to find Frostiak. There goes the Water Hands looking for Funballer. He's got nowhere to go. Knocked up into the air. No ultimate available. He's kind of stuck here. The damage out from Zimstar. And we're going to see Xaylia heading on home, but a huge win there for TSM. Not dropping a single player. 4-0. Now we saw, and this is interesting, right? We saw Zimstar cancel his ultimate just for the CC immunity.
Yep.
But he wasn't in range to auto attack. So it's literally just, hey, save me.
And that's what it's about. I love that play coming out from TSM, but maybe it wasn't as good of chemistry as it was of misplays coming out there from Exposed Secrets.
They were scattered.
I mean, Half Devil completely out of position. Xaylia getting caught early, getting completely spy checked, forced out. I mean, he didn't even die, but he forced his team into that situation. And then you look at Shadow Nightmare, who saw the 3-man stun come out from Frostiak, and he choked with that crush placement. Nowhere near a single point of damage in that one. Ultimate wasn't used effectively. Frostiak was actually the star of that fight. Despite his early game, got a 3-man stun, 3-man silence, great control. His team just could not follow up.
You know, you look at the lineup for TSM, and this is basically, I would look at this as a balanced scale. I mean, you've got a good split of everything. Strong physical damage, strong magical damage, good frontline, good control, a lot of CC, and a lot of huge burst and late game hyper carrying. Look across the way, you're going to see Frostiak picking up an NC lane now after his Jotun's Wrath, which is great because you're looking at Raw from Lobster, you're looking at Game Hunter, too much magic damage. But then you see Zimstar, you see Cubo doing a ton as well. Nice block there, forcing out the ultimate from Half Devil. No! He walks away!
Why did he stop?
Zimstar did not expect the Searing Pain to do that much damage, and he will turn his head away.
That should be Fire Giant. Defender of Olympus is down. They have enough people on this side of the map. They should be going for this.
Cubo looking to defend the left tower, though. They're not going to have his mighty thunderous roar. They're going to clear out the wave here as Funball tries to clear him down, but the Fire Giant is available. Shouldn't matter for over the wall. If they want to go for this, they're going to be able to get a kill. And they're giving way too much time for them to rotate back over.
This is wasted time. They could have at least been farming. They have to make a decision. They didn't make it. Game Hunter going to rotate over to the right side. Beautiful shot on the invisible Loki, but still will not deter to the point where Half Devil will have to back off here. The Fire Giant will be contended for now, and it looks like TSM is going to be forced into just to a different strategy.
Well, we're going to see Lobster team over the right side. They're going to take this blue buff. They're still sitting in place now. It is warded, so Exposed Secrets will see this in its entirety. The Fire Giant is still standing, looking for that blue buff. But, you know, that was a lot of hurry up and wait for TSM. They didn't really capitalize on that in any significant way. Now, of course, you have to think about it in the negative way, in the way that Exposed Secrets really couldn't do anything either, and so they were kind of locked in this eternal struggle where they do have a lead. You're looking at 9,000 gold and 13,000 experience in the lead, and so if they can shut Exposed Secrets into a box, they can't really get anything either, and so you're freezing that situation. But definitely an opportunity presented itself, and they were not comfortable going for it, as of course there was a slight turnaround possibility.
Trix Tank on the top side looking for something. Oh, Frostiak just barely getting away from what could have been instantaneous death. The speed buff will be removed pretty easily. No thought process really needed right there to blow that one up.
Zimstar took a ton of damage there from Rom Ultimate. Here comes Zalia. Can he get there in time? He's going to walk through it.
He's dead.
He jumps away. He's got an ultimate available, and that's going to be that. Great play there coming out from Exposed Secrets. So Funballer with the ultimate going to bring him down to low HP, but they do know that there's two players on the side of Exposed Secrets to the left side of the map, so TSM's in a 4 versus 3 situation. Again, not going to go for it this time around. Oh, okay, so Lobster did not go for the Book of Thoth. He built the Soul Reaver instead, and now is going into the Hide of the Urchin, so a lot more defensive and looking for that pick. And honestly, when you're going up against an Assassin team, high burst team, you get the pick, and that's all you need.
Right now, I'm looking at, speaking of high burst, Funball has about 15,000 in hand, or 1,500 in hand right now, which he's spending away. Shadow Nightmare gets picked off. Half Devil getting forced out. Frostiak getting forced out. Zalia not on the right side of the map to try to help his team, and Game Hunter's going to get some free experience over on the left side. The rotation needs to be swift here from Zalia, clearing out waves, making sure his team is defended. At this point, though, it's going to be very hard to compete with Lobster Ceiling.
Well, they're rotating over to the mid lane. Zalia currently sitting at 2,300 player damage in 24 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's really the only damage he's ever done to get the 2 kills that he has. Mid lane rotation coming out here, and he's going to walk right by Game Hunter looking for the Atlas. Can he find it? Their Purification Bead just in time, popping it just to get the CDR. Beautiful play there from Zalia. The power of Tier 3 beads is reigning supreme. Rage is completed here on the left side for Zimstar. A lot of crit damage coming through on him. Game Hunter looking for, I would imagine, a Soul Reaver at this point. We might see 2 Soul Reavers.
Yeah, I think that's smart too, especially if they hit the same target. 30% of their maximum health just taken out would be very, very scary. Athena coming in, Defender of Olympus, raining onto Funball. Beautiful double knockout coming up from Game Hunter, trying to block them out. They're gonna get rid of the Fire Giant, but it's at 30%. This is very strange, but Half Devil's gonna get taken out there. Frostiak with a big silence, not gonna deter. Fire Giant will go to Team SoloMid.
Bombs up, looking for the damage, but he will land right into the Atlas. There's the belly flop timing, beautiful damage coming up for Shadowhammer. It's not gonna be enough, and QO Fred will be zoning them out here, looking for Zalia. He doesn't have the ultimate available. He's not going to have the burst damage he needs. There's the ultimate coming out from Frostic. He's all alone. Jumping in as Zimstar. The damage will be too much for him. Frostic will fall. Shadow Neighbor on the way out, but TSM is out for blood here. He's just going to go back down into the jungle. Will they ignore him? They will indeed, and go right for the tower. Smart play.
It's very smart. Zalia right there did not land his auto attack chain. I was really expecting him to come big with the Vanish aim strike, it would have been a lot of damage, but he missed it completely. The decoy not applying any damage as well, and now 5 members of TSM trying to move forward against an Athena, and it looks like a Scylla. We see Loki on the left side trying to look for that assassin route in. Nice, it looks like he's going to go right for Lobster. Maybe Cubo. Going to go for Cubo. He's got him.
The dot comes out there. There's the Vanish. Now rotation come out from Game Hunter. Going to find Zaylee in the back. The Phoenix is still taking damage here. The Raw heals are doing so much right now, DM, and they can't control it. Look at the healing done. Look across the way. We're going to see 21,000 done by Lobster, just narrowly missing that snipe onto Zaylee, which would have ended this entirely.
How's he healed for 21,000? Oh, like, that's actually obnoxious.
Well, it's a lot of poke from Exposed Secrets, extended team fights, and they just keep collapsing on the heal. And none of what Exposed Secrets has is so AoE-centric that they force them out of the raw heal. They have nothing to counter it.
Exposed Secrets right now, 17,000 experience ahead, but starting to get normalized as the level 20s come out. 11,500 gold ahead as well, which could be shrunk down to just 10k if Zimstar doesn't find a line here. In fact, it looks like he is just going to let this one go.
Double Soul Reaver online for TSM.
Scary.
Gold Fury stolen away from Exposed Secrets, but how much does it make a difference? It'll bring him under 10k, but still about 10,000 gold behind overall. Exposed Secrets is struggling right now to find some ground to stand on. 16.6k experience is really making this difficult for them, and experience really tells a strong story. You look across the way, you've got 16, 18, and 13 on Exposed Secrets as versus the 19 and 15 of the non-20s for TSM. And, you know, Thor about to level 20, there's going to be 4 level 20s active for TSM, and you can see that Scylla, I mean, even, you know, look at Frostic, still level 16 right now.
I mean, that's Thanatos. At this point, he has very little clear. He doesn't do a lot of damage in team fights. He's basically just an ult bot. Go looking for maybe an execute, more than likely just stuns. We'll also be able to use his silence. The slow, not really effective. The 10% damage, not effective. And the damage that you see come out from Death Scythe is halved at this point because people's scaling on a percent-wise has increased so much in terms of defense and in terms of just having extra base health.
Well, the really conflicting part about Thanatos, as it looks for the aggression on the left side, Phoenix, is that his ultimate is really used to, push the middle fight. Taunt coming out there, going to find 3. Thanatos up there. Frostic has to get a good ultimate here. He's going to find 2. He just popped by Lobster immediately. The damage coming out, knocking him in from Shadow Nightmare. Frostic will fall, looking for Zimstar. Zimstar going to back away, crushing wave on Fun Ball before he goes up in the air. There goes damage. Game Hunter on a rampage. Zaylee will fall as well to Cubo's heavy hammer, and now they're going to find some damage. Still gets the crush, needs a Sikkim, needs something. Will find it, shutting down Game Hunter, but at what cost?
I mean, 2 are still alive, and that's going to be all they need to pick this one up. Oh, they have to be careful here. Cubo can't tank too much damage. He's going to be able to get out, and the Phoenix will go down. Fire Giant still has a little bit before it comes up, and Trix Tank.
How much
are they
Trix
going
for doing
this
right now? So much damage.
Oh my God,
up in the air goes. Needs
he's going up.
Sentinel. Can he find him before the well?
Oh,
he's got plenty
so
of
nervous.
time. He's going to find. Nope. He's going to disengage. They respawn coming out from Athena, and that will be the end of it. But 20-9. I mean, Exposed Secrets just putting in their shots, but DSM has their eye on the prize. They're looking for the Phoenix. They're looking for the right players. And you can see that the second Fun Ball got engaged, Game Hunter's like, oh, I'm going to turn into a tsunami, and I'm going to blast you with my hands, and you're just done. And that's the focus, right? They're not really worried about what's happening from Frostic. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage. They're not really worried about what's happening from Zaylee, because once he dumps his ultimate, he's not really doing a whole lot either. And so they're focusing on Shadow Nightmare. They're focusing on Fun Baller, because that's what's going to sustain them through the fight. And the problem with Frostic is that he'd like to use his ultimate in the middle of the fight when someone's low enough to execute.
Sure.
But he needs his team to get that there. And when you're behind 4v5, it's not going to happen.
Heading back to the base with 2470 gold in hand, Cubo Fred going to be able to finish up that Magi's Blessing, max out his abilities. You see Fist of the Gods and Beats 3 coming out as well, and goes into Cursed Blade, giving him a little bit more physical protection and 10% movement speed, which is going to be very, very helpful as he continues to try to kite around Scylla.
Structure damage 3,500 from on her. Zimstar really shredding into those towers with the penetration he's got online right now.
And Thor with 3k.
Oh, man. It just comes down to how much they're pushing. And realistically, there's not a whole lot that Exposed Secrets can do about it. Once they have map control, Exposed Secrets doesn't have a, I'm going to counter-initiate or I'm going to force this fight kind of team. It's, I'm hoping for a pick, and then we'll start the team fight. But TSM's not giving them any room to do that. They're warding everything. They put so many wards down. In fact, you look at the wards placed right now, you see 24 coming out from Bacchus. Initiation looking for something
Half Devil
here.
jumped away. That Fire Giant, they're going to
unleash it.
back off?
Zaylee was behind.
That was free.
Interesting. Well,
Does
Fun Ball wasn't
Zaylia
there.
have no, Zaylia does not have Hand of the Gods at all. Frostiak, though, does have the line from the air, but that, for all intents and purposes, was a free Fire Giant, and it was strange to see them jump away from it.
Well, they're going to start it up again. Zalia's still behind the fire giant again. They do have a ward there. They will spot it out. Half Devil coming in slowly. Great wall from Cubo, slowing him down. Frostic force out. Frostic getting a ton of damage here. Half Devil has no entry point again. There's Zalia looking for the kill. Zimstar going to die to the dot. There goes damage coming out from Shadow Nightmare, avoided by the Each from Lobster. Up in there goes Frostic. Look for the dunk. Can he find it? Going to find some damage there, but going to take a lot in return. Frostic falls. Taunt from Half Devil is not going to be good. Damage coming out from the skies will be Cubo Fred. The hammer will come out as well, chasing down Shadow Nightmare. There's the wall. Purification bead. Sentinel will be reduced in cooldown. Crush. Sick him. Not doing enough.
Not even close. Shadow Nightmare forced to escape here. 4 members of TSM will lock into this Fire Giant buff, and Exposed Secrets at an 11-5 record are kind of at risk here. Team SoloMid at this point, they could technically have tied with SK Gaming if SK won everything this week and Team SoloMid lost everything. But in this case, Team SoloMid's looking pretty primed right now to go up and make sure that they're going to maintain their 3rd seed. More than likely going to be fighting off against Agilitas soon.
Was that a shout out to Pretty Prime?
Yeah, that's Agilitas. I led into it.
Yeah, that's good.
They're really dominant.
I'm really impressed with your wordplay today.
It was outrageous.
It's like over the top. I'm impressed.
Thank you so much.
Good. Well, the right side Phoenix will be falling down. Mid tower is going to be dropping as well, adding another 1,500 to the coffers of TSM, 23-10. And at this point, Exposed Secrets has to go for the big play. I mean, they're so far behind right now. The Fire Giant buff is still standing on 4 out of the 5 members from TSM. Welcome to the new Spectator Client, everyone. If you look at the left side of your screen, you will see a little flame icon below their portraits that tells you whether or not they have the Fire Giant buff. Of course, you see that Zimstar does not have it currently, but the items are building up.
Did not
One
know that.
thing we can look at, you know, Frostic is in that age-old conundrum where he needs to buy defense to survive but needs damage to kill.
Oh, for Half Devil going in real big right here. Game Hunter. Oh, Game Hunter executed. Lobster executed. Exposed Secrets coming out of nowhere using 4 ultimates, gaining 2 kills. The Gold Fury more than likely going to be taken as well. And now a lot of their burst damage have been removed. 2 Soul Reavers right off the map.
Well, the Gold Fury is going to be taken out here for free. It's going to add a little bit more, and that was the risky play. They just dove for it. They didn't have vision of any kind. They didn't know where anyone else was. They were thinking, we have to fight this, and they did. And of course, TSM was not in a position to realize what was happening to them. So they will get those free kills. They will also get the Gold Fury. And if you're going to take out 2 targets, why not take out the very strong bursty fed mages on the other side? 2 and 20 for Lobster. He has almost as much assists as the support. And 25,000 healing.
That's not even fair. I mean, plain and simple, 25k healing on top of 15k damage. You know, that puts him at an effective damage rate of 40,000.
Oh, man.
And then across the way, you see player damage. No one is above 20 on that side. Not even close, in fact. Scylla is still 1,000 damage away, which is kind of rough for them. I mean, he has out-damaged anyone on their team with healing by 6,000.
Trixtank, 1-1-21, has picked up his Winged Blade because reasons and to be avoiding a lot of the slows coming out from Exposed Secrets, especially that AoE slow from Scylla that's been a pain in his butt so far. Looking at the numbers, it's not something that Exposed Secrets is comfortable with, but you can see that they definitely have the fighting spirit. The left and right Phoenixes are down. The Fire Giant will be up in just about 2.5 minutes or so as it does start to respawn here, and they cannot lose the next one. It's too much of a downside for them. So what they have to do is look to get this right side Phoenix fostered and healed back up. Once they do that, they have to look for the Fire Giant, but, you know, everything's razor thin for Exposed Secrets. They can't make any more mistakes.
They still have 2 people with FG, allowing them to sustain as they rush down once again. Death Scythe going to hit Trixtank for a very meager amount, and as he laughs it off, it looks like they're going to go right for this one.
Well, clearing out the wave. Very slow and cautious, Exposed Secrets. You see that there is a potion up for Shadow Nightmare. Looking to move that away. Shadow Nightmare knocked up into the air. There goes a Searing Pain. Gets it. Lobster was on the fight. And now here comes the go. That's the green light for TSM. Looking for the follow-up. Get a fine fun ball. Force him away. Crush wave. Not going to land. But into the Fire Giant buff they go. There goes the damage on top. Zalia gets erased. Dashes away with the ultimate. Will he be enough? Damage coming down for Frostic. Dropping low. Damage on top of Half Devil as well. He will get destroyed. There's 2 members remaining. And they don't have what it takes. It's looking like game.
Yeah, TSM should be able to lock this one out. Funballer trying to escape as Cubo Fred takes away the Titan. Back to Trixtank, no problem whatsoever. Don't know why they haven't rushed in to finish this yet. Actually kind of frustrating to watch.
Well, they're moving in here. The Titan's dropping low. Funballer back into the base, up into the air. Goes Cubo Fred. There's no Phoenixes left. They've got full.
This is so big. He didn't even have to land there. By Cubo Fred staying in the air, it forces them away from melee range, making sure Zalia can't attack. But that's going to be it. Team SoloMid, in a strange delay at the end there, will finally pick it up, putting themselves up to 11-8 and locking themselves in to the LAN.
Smart play there. TSM really showing what they were made of before we started this. And, of course, they had a very weak first week. Second week kind of struggled, and then they came out strong, and now they're going to be hitting here after this match 11-8. Team SoloMid taking the victory there. Look at the numbers. You're going to see that Hugo Fred dropped 20,000 player damage, 24K for Game Hunter. But I think the story here is that, Lobster was 1 for 1 for damage healing. He's got 17.6K damage, 17.9K healing. Every point of healing was matched for a point of damage.
Keep in mind, though, that healing in this post-game does not reflect the healing that he gave himself.
Just others.
Right. This is just others.
That's scary.
So this is the numbers that he's done to other people.
Oh, man.
That's gross. There was like another almost 10K healing just for himself.
Yeah, of course.
Broken.
Just healing himself, standing aside. And he also has the protections, right? He started early with that physical protection. We're going to see him pick up that Height of the Urchin. Of course, he's got that Soul Reaver. But, Game Hunter, what a play.
All game, 25,000, almost 25,000 damage, completely locking Xaylia out of the fight, over doubling the amount of damage he did. And we're going to show you right here why Game Hunter is referred to as the God Hunter when he turns this one right around for TSM.
Look at the Fire Giant starting it up here, pretty close. And this is what's so great about mages with long distance abilities over the wall. There's comes Xaylia, crushing wave immediately, and he's gone. That click reaction that Game Hunter has. And there's the shell, but at this point, it's just free cleanup. They're going to look for the Fire Giant. Damage coming out from half double. Nice Aegis there as Frostek lands on top, but that's going to be it. And, he did that probably 4 or 5 times that game where something happened. Something attacked him. Something, disrupted the team fight. He's like, oh, 4. Oh, threat reduced. We're fine. It's all good.
Something I always talk about is Weakening Curse is so important. And they picked one up. But if you pick up Weakening Curse on your support, that means you're not getting a shell. Someone must pick up that shell. I don't know where it was decided that this was like an optional item. It's not. It's 15% damage reduction on top of 45 protection for 5 seconds. That is necessary to stop damage from everyone on their team. Like if they had a shell when Thor dived in, that's a lot of damage reduction.
Well, it's everything, right? You're going up against a Habwa and on her. Very strong single target sources, which just blast, blast, blast. If you avoid that, that's huge. And, they also kind of waited. I mean, they got the Weakening Curse onto half double a little bit early, but, it's that thing where, and I feel like this happens a lot to players who are like, I don't really need healing reduction.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, we kind of do. And so you saw Xaylia move into that Brawler's Beat stick late in the game, which of course hurt his damage. It was a little bit late. The healing was too strong, and it didn't seem like they had a plan going into that match.
Brawlers gives you penetration, it gives you damage, but it's effective for healing. What if Xaylia can't find a target that's already healing? That's wasted stats. And at that point, Xaylia didn't have a line to the back line. Exposed Secrets got a little exposed that game. It seems like every strategy they put forth got shut down. And when they noticed that Shadow Nightmare could start getting ahead, they all bought Aegis. And they're like, yeah, keep aiming at Lobster. Just F.
Well, the downside of the Brawler's Beat stick as well is that, he needs enough damage to make someone disappear. And he had about 90% of their HP. Every time you win in, he pops the ultimate, pops the aim strike, pops the vanish, and they get down to 10%, and then he dies. And if you don't get that kill, it's not worth your sacrifice of going in to get the kill. And so that's what hurt him the most.
And you know what? I think that one might be on Frostiak. You pick Loki, you rely on your jungler to get you through the early stages so you can get those stacks up, get farmed, and begin to fight. Game Hunter locked it down. Cubo Fred shut down Frostiak at every regard. Zimstar even dropped a kill onto Frostiak, and it still didn't even matter. Thanatos is not a good pick. Please, no more Thanatos.
Thanatos is the questionable pick of the SPL. But that's going to be it for this match, guys. We're going to the next match. We're going to be SK, seeing if they can find that win. They really need it. They're so hungry. They're going to be going up against Mortality. Mortality looking so strong. But we're going to cut to a brief break. We'll be right back with the next matchup of the day. We'll see you soon.